Hello, I'm Adrian Calmettes from the Ohio State University.
And I'm Dominic Pfister from the Ohio State University. This video is an overview of our paper, Constructing Business Authority and Global Governance, a Bourdieusian account of multi-level meaning fixation, published in the Review of International Studies.
In 1999, United Nations Secretary General Kofi Annan gave a speech at the World Economic Forum's annual conference in Davos, Switzerland, where he announced the creation of the UN Global Compact, an initiative which sought to give business actors a greater role in global governance. Kofi Annan announced that the Global Compact was a realization of his hope for a, quote, creative partnership between the UN and the private sector, end quote. He further suggested that business actors were not only helpful to global governance, but necessary to global governance, because, quote, without their know-how and resources, many of the objectives of the United Nations will remain elusive, end quote. The creation of the Global Compact was a symbolic milestone because it institutionalized the rise of business authority in global governance. In fact, in the past decades, we have witnessed the multiplication of multi-stakeholder governance initiatives where business actors play a central and often leading role. So why did this happen? Why have business actors become perceived as necessary to the proper conduct of global governance? As global governance scholars explained, non-state actors may possess objective capacities that states and intergovernmental organizations lack. For example, companies like Microsoft or Google may have a technical expertise that other organizations lack. This difference in technical expertise will explain why the UN has appointed representatives of the business sector, such as Melinda Gates and Jack Ma, as co-chairs of the UN High-Level Panel for Digital Cooperation in 2019. Yet, the objective difference in power capabilities is not sufficient to explain the construction of authority. Authority is not only about power, it is about the legitimate power to act and further social interests. Authority is a question not only of objective power capabilities, but of recognition as well. And recognition depends on the beliefs that certain actors are better equipped to perform governance function than others.
To understand how business authority is constructed, we use the theoretical tools of Pierre Bourdieu. Specifically, we use the concepts of cultural and symbolic capital to analyze how cultural factors were leveraged by business actors to symbolically construct business power as legitimate and render business actors authoritative in global governance. We look at how the cultural capital possessed by business actors was used to persuade public global governance actors to adopt business-centered models of governance, legitimize the structural empowerment of business actors, and grant these actors authority. Substantively, we focus on the role of one business actor, the World Economic Forum, or WEF, in using cultural capital to construct business authority. The WEF is an important business actor because of its role in coordinating corporations, global finance, and consulting companies. As the self-proclaimed International Organization for Public-Private Cooperation, the WEF has played a significant cultural role by organizing meetings, such as the yearly WEF conference held at Davos, promoting conceptual frameworks, such as multi-stakeholderism and the Fourth Industrial Revolution, and issuing reports and indices on competitiveness that are leveraged by states and international organizations as bases for policymaking. Through these forms of cultural capital, the WEF has successfully reshaped the knowledge base, norms, and values of global governance in ways that construct business authority in general.
Theoretically, we expand on Bourdieusian theories of global governance by showing how the construction of business authority cuts across fields of governance. We argue that the construction of business authority is enabled by the interactions between the macro level of individual action, the meso level of fields and institutions, and the macro level of structures. For example, we highlight how Klaus Schwab, the former executive chairman of the WEF, leverages his cultural capital to produce specific discourses that link broader structural changes like globalization and technological change to business authority. These discourses are problematic, we argue, because they falsely depict for-profit motives as actions that further societal interests.
In conclusion, our paper argues that business authority does not simply stem from specific schematic attributes of business actors or structural changes. It is constructed through strategic yet contestable practices and discourses that diffuse across levels of governance. Thanks for watching our video overview, and we hope you read the paper to learn more.